Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back into Crypto Mainly. My name's Lee. Let's jump straight into the content. Okay, Bitcoin. So we were looking, may recall from the video previously, I was looking for a bounce here in this region up into the blue box territory. We didn't get that bounce, which is concerning actually. We've got showing weakness in price already. I was expecting to see, some of you will recall if you've been watching the videos the last couple of days, I was expecting to see a bounce up into the mid range here, followed by followed by that sort of move after that. But in actual fact, we didn't even get the strength to actually push back up into the 44.5 to 45,000 zone up the top here in this blue box. So that's a little bit concerning. Added to that, actually, we were talking about this support line um, over the last couple of days here. Let me just highlight that for you a little bit. So we were talking about that support line, and that we didn't really want to see the price break down below there. In actual fact, we have already broken down. We've come back up for a retest. So we are looking like we're going to be rolling over again and heading back down towards this sort of, the area of around about the sort of 40,500 mark. Um, as we spoke about over the last couple of days, got a few sort of areas to watch out for on the way down. The 61.8 here is, let me just grab my mouse for you. Just put the highlights on there. There you go. Yeah, so we were looking at the 61.8 area here, which in actual fact is at 41,600. We may get a dip down to there, and then another bounce from there. There is a bit of a sign of but bullish divergence on the RSI. So you've got price action is coming down and the RSI is going up here. It's not confirmed yet, so I wouldn't put too much weight on that just at the moment, particularly as the price is against resistance and looking like it's going to roll over there. So just keep that in mind. There is some bullish divergence forming on the 4 hourly, but yeah, let's see what happens. It's got to break back up through this resistance line first. So if let me just zoom in and show you a little bit more. So clearly what we've got to do is get above this high here. So if I just mark that on there for you now, go by the high of that wick, which is at 42,640. So we've got to get above there firstly, which I'm not sure that we will do. If we do, then we may get a move back up to certainly the low part of this range here. I'll just move this across to there, which is the 43,350 mark. So if we do break back up above support, there's a good chance that we do reach back up to that 43,300. But I suspect that'll be short-lived. I don't think we're going to have much continuation from that afterwards. I think we'll probably see, if anything, I think as things stand now, looking at this now, we may come back down and then create like a bottoming pattern and then break through support. And if we do, we could head up to this region here. But I mean, there is every chance that we may just roll over, the support doesn't hold, and we just continue down further. And I actually think, looking at this, that the continuation to the downside is actually more likely. It'll be nice to get to the bottom of this range and see what happens then. When I say this range, it'd be nice to get back down to the bottom of support, which is down around this area here. So we're looking at sort of between 40 and 41, shall we say, for round numbers' sake. Yeah, I mean, if we get down to this region here, this is the region really where we want to see what's going to be happening. In some respects, it'll be nice to just, if we just have we get this pattern correct, complete rather, and we get down to the bottom of this region here, 40 to 41, and then we can make some decisions and see what happens here. See if we start to find support, and then watch for the breakout. I won't be entering too much too quickly at this point, because there is, there's a lot happening in the market in terms of the choppy. If we look at the last few days of price action, I've been trading small time frames. So if we look at like the 15 or 15-minute time frame, for example, I mean, you can just see how choppy it's been. We broke below support, we broke above support, we broke below support, we broke back into the pattern, and then support failed. We tried to get back into the pattern again, it failed miserably. had a huge pump off the bounce, and then that failed and dumped down even further, and now lost support and come down. So this price action here, it is just literally, this is the market manipulators creating this type of price action. This is an organic price action. This is just chop, and it's been very tricky to trade that over the last few days. So hopefully, you guys didn't get caught out too much in that. So yeah, even on the smaller time frames, you can see we're kind of going sideways a little bit at the moment. But we're going to come up against this resistance again, and then I think that's the point where we're going to probably roll over. So let's just have a quick look at the sort of on a zoomed out scale. So as you can remember from the video yesterday, what I was looking for is for us to break hit from here and get into this blue box territory, and for me to take a short position from there. We did not get into this blue box territory, so I did not take a short position. So we'll just get rid of that. Just get rid of that trade there, because I did not take that trade after all, because it didn't have my, it didn't get to my entry level. It rolled over much before then, so I haven't actually taken that trade. I'll be looking for my next trade. I'm going to be waiting now patiently. It's hard when you're in the market, and things are going up, and you're up here, and we're above the resistance line, and everything looks rosy, and and then we're having more attacks at trying to get back above it again, here and here. It's very, very hard to sell your positions here and be patient and wait, even though you can see that there's a potential correction coming. Very, very difficult. It's easier said than done to be able to sell your positions up here and just wait patiently. But that is what I'm doing. With experience, sort of worst case scenario, if let's say for example, I was up here and I'd exited all my positions in alts, and I was just waiting patiently to see what happened in this area. The worst case scenario, as far as I'm concerned, is if we do get a breakout and price did push to the upside, and when we broke through and we came up, the chances are that we would come back down and get some kind of retest anyway before we had continuation. Anyway, so what we're talking about is the amount of price change from just from kind of this area here to like the retest. It's only a very small percentage. So to be sitting out of the market in this zone, waiting to see what happens, I think people get people talk about FOMO. I think people do tend to worry that if they come out of the market, they're not going to get back in again. But you can see that even on the like breakouts and things, you do get second chances to get back into the market. I mean, so what do I mean by that? So, for example, even like a sudden move like this one, for example, here, where you had a sudden move all the way down. I mean, the bounce, if you like, was 50% of the move. So you do get second chances to get back in on bounces. Generally speaking, with Bitcoin's very forgiving in that respect, and I think people fall into the trap of thinking if they get out up here that they're never going to get back in again. Well, that's not really the case. If you just look at the price action, do some back testing, have a look back through history, and you'll see that you get second chances. So even this roll over here, you've got a second chance to sort of exit your positions if you like. So if you were still in your positions here and it rolled over, Bitcoin gave you a second chance to get out of your positions and then rolled over again. It's very forgiving in that respect. So yeah. But I mean, timing the market is very difficult, and some people prefer to hold, and they long-term investors and things, and I understand that because it is difficult to time the market. Even if you're an experienced trader and things, it will still cut you out, especially when you've got chop going on like you have here. So yeah, I mean, I understand why people sometimes prefer to hold, but I mean, if we're talking about positions from up the top here to the bottom, if we look at that in terms of percentage, so that's like a 10% retracement. But I mean, if we picked any kind of altcoin, let's see how the altcoins have been faring. I mean, even a popular one like this, from the correction point, top to bottom, it's 20%. So, but I mean, as I say, even here, if you look at this as a good example, you still get second attempts, you still get second chances. So cryptocurrency is quite forgiving like that. So my advice is, if you feel that there's a correction coming, don't be afraid to sit out of the market and just watch what happens, just observe, because there's always been this thing that Bitcoin will completely take off or completely dump, and you'll be missing out, left on the sidelines. Well, I've been in the space for 4 years now, and I've not seen a move where it's left everybody behind to a point where they've thought, "Wow, that one move particularly was one that we completely missed out on, and never had a chance to get back into it again." So I don't know. I think this FOMO thing of that happening, it hasn't happened up till now. Anything can happen. What with the geopolitical situation and governments and big corporations, things like that, all starting to get into cryptocurrency and Bitcoin things. Maybe that's happening. Maybe that's going to be happening, but I can't see it happening unless there's something severe, a black swan event like that, which creates a massive pump. Something along the lines of maybe it's sort of sudden hyperinflation or something like that. But that's a whole new subject, so we won't go into that now. Okay, this is Ethereum. So again, I'm thinking that Bitcoin rolling over, coming back down to the 40 to 41 region down here would mean that Ethereum's looking likely to be having something along the lines of an ABC correction from there. So you've got the measure from A B equals C D. And it would take us back down to this support line here, which, as I say, these things they don't usually happen by coincidence. That's at 2,900. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin down at 40,000 and Ethereum coming down to somewhere between 2,900 and 3,000. Certainly over the next certainly over the next week, and then obviously we'll be off to the races. I think after that, once we get this move out of the way, then we're looking at a nice summer alt season. But the, one thing to watch out for is if we break through the support, and we start to get closes below 40,000. If that happens, then be aware, as I said, about the fact that you might get, we might come back down below and then start to look like we're coming up to retests, coming down and then taken off, because that can happen, and that's kind of second point. This is the bull trap at the top, and now the second bear trap could happen now down in this region. So I'd be a little bit careful. But if we do start to get closes down below the 40,000 mark, there's every chance that this downward move might continue even lower. So just be prepared for that as well. So you've got to be prepared for each scenario really, with whatever trading technique you use. Just be aware. If we come back down below the 40,000, then the measured move, if you like, of this channel would take us back down to almost even down to like the 30,000 mark. So it's between 30 and 32,000, I would say. Let me just draw what that would look like. So the measured move of this rising channel from the point of breakdown. Yeah, we could go back down to we could see the sort of low 30s again, which would be somewhere between, I'd say probably between 31 and 33. If we break down below this support line of 40,000, start getting candle closes on the daily. But I think below 39,800, if you start to get daily closes below that 78.6 retracement there, which is 39,800, any daily closes below 39,800, and then we just be prepared for maybe even a further move to the downside, but also be prepared with your stop losses and things that this could be a bear trap scenario, and we could actually take off from there. So yeah, sorry to be, it's all sort of a little bit iffy and butty at the moment, because there's there are not very many clear signs, other than the fact that the downtrend is continuing. I'm a little bit concerned that we didn't get that bounce from this area that we were, when I was looking at, the bounce from here up to the 45 and then down, because we've actually come down now, broken through support. We didn't show any strength here. We've broken support and now we're starting to roll over. I'm just a bit concerned that maybe we are going to be, perhaps seeing lower prices than I'm expecting, and this support may not hold it. And as I say, any sort of daily closes below 39,800, I think that we've got to be prepared that there's going to be even further downside. and unfortunately that would put a pause on the summer alt season for us as well. So let's see what happens. It's a matter of just seeing what, collecting data over the next few days, over the coming days, and seeing what happens there. Trying to get a better idea of what's going to happen when we get down to this zone here. Ethereum again, I'm thinking that if Bitcoin does roll over, that Ethereum are going to see it between 2,900 and 3,000. And dominance is also pointing towards the same thing. So you've got, if Bitcoin does start to roll over here, it would make sense that you get dominance pop back up, maybe come up to the neckline of this W here. So excuse my scribbles, this is from previous videos. Yeah. So you got a low forming here, and you got a higher low forming there. If this continues and we get it, and we start to see us coming back up to the neckline of the W here, then we'd be looking at a measured move. That would be considered like a bullish pattern, if you like. And so we'll be looking at a move somewhere like this. Would likely take us, I think, would likely take us up to possibly, this kind of area here, and then the rollover coming from there. Looking at the rollover, so I think we'd see something coming up to here, and then they're rolling over like this. Judging by the measured move, we're looking at perhaps it's even going a little bit higher than that, and then rolling over and coming down. But nonetheless, once we get this rollover, once we get this big, big huge downward action, which I think is coming, that is what's going to create the summer alt season, in my opinion. So let's hope for that, and look forward to that. Hope that happens.
Bounce.
Just before I go, guys, thanks ever so much for liking and subscribing. Got 145 subscribers now. Lots of the statistics and analytics will go in the right direction. And just take a look at the crypto mainly. This is my first NFT. I've called it the early bird because I just want to recognise the fact that the early people that actually start to purchase these and support me in this early stage of my YouTube career. I can look back and see who those people were in the future as my success grows, and take that into consideration with whatever I decide to do in the future with these NFTs. So thank you very much for watching, for liking and subscribing, for all your support and comments. Really appreciate you guys, and look forward to speaking to you tomorrow. All the best now. Take care. Always remember, guys, take profits and buy something real. Take care now.